What's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to the channel, you guys. It's your girl, Miss Honey. It is Saturday, and we are here for Iyanla Fix My Life. This is season 6, episode 14, and this episode is all about two reality TV stars who are now facing divorce. Two women. One you may know more than the other. But before we get into all of that, I apologize for the dry face. I just got in from a family barbecue. I've been there all day. It's been my birthday. It's my birthday weekend, so your girl is sticking and moving. And I was like, ugh. I had to take that makeup off because barbecue grills and makeup, not a good look. You guys didn't want that. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. I would love to have you. As well as that bell right next to it. If you'll go ahead and ring that, you'll be notified whenever I put a new video out. Of course, give me a thumbs up and comment down below. I want to talk about this. Here's the thing. The two reality stars, one was Veronica. I don't know her last name. She was on Second Wives Club. I've never seen the show, although she seems very familiar to me. I've never seen that reality TV show. It was like First Wives Club or Second Wives Club or Ex-Wives Club, something like that. And then there was Charrisse Jackson, who we know from Real Housewives of Potomac. Real Housewives of Potomac just wrapped up their 3rd season, and she was in all 3 seasons. Although she was not a full cast member this last season, a lot of people felt like it was because of her divorce that she was going through that she was not able to be a full cast member. Although you couldn't tell it by how many times she was filming. But I digress. Anyway, I'm noticing a sort of pattern with Iyanla as well as Iyanla's guest, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're not going to break down every single solitary thing because 1, I'm tired, and 2, because I don't think it's necessary for us to get the life lesson out of this. Not on this occasion. Okay, so Cherise, who is 52, she was married 20 years, still is married. I think the divorce is in process. She's married to a guy who is like a coach of a big time team, I think. And first thing she noticed was that he was charming and that, but he was everything she said she would never marry. She would never marry a man who had children. She would never marry a man who was in the athletics industry. And several other things she said she would never do, she ended up doing. He was all of those things. Well, 9 years into their marriage, he lost interest. 8 years into their marriage is when he started cheating. And how did you know he lost interest? This is what Iyanla asks her. And she tells her that he moved to the guest bedroom. Well, what did you do? Well, I moved to the guest bedroom. I wasn't going to, let him just move out and I not, fight for my marriage. This is what she's thinking that she's doing. She's fighting for her marriage. And this is what I was going to say. Both guests come in with this conversation. People come in with their own agenda. For Cherise is 52. Veronica is 34. Veronica is still in a place of being victim. Cherise is in a place where she is still trying to hold it together. She is trying to give this appearance that she is tough as Teflon. And she has little moments throughout this episode where she kind of lets that guard down and she acts for in a moment of vulnerability, but you can still always see that it's present. What I noticed from their old pictures of them with their children and when they were supposed to be in happy times, I don't know what was really going on, but the photo looked like they were in their happy times. What I noticed is that she was a lot smaller. She looked like she was very wiry, very physically fit, that type of thing. And if you watch the Real Housewives of Potomac, you know that Cherise is extremely competitive. And I think that one of the things that she decided she was going to do was not go down without a fight. I think she thought she would really, really outlast him and outweight him. She mentioned that she always thought that he would change and she waited for things to change, but they never did. And she said she really didn't believe in divorce and she was hoping things, like I said, would change. And then Iyanla says, well, why are you here? And she says, I wasted a lot of my life on a person who didn't even want me. And that's embarrassing. That is a moment of truth for Cherise. That is a moment of truth because if you watched any episodes of Real Housewives of Potomac, if you watch this show tonight, you will see that she spends a lot of time trying to remain poised and remain pulled together. Even when she cries, she is just, she doesn't want to appear embarrassed. She doesn't want to appear foolish. She doesn't want to appear as though she didn't peep it. She didn't see it coming. She didn't know. You know what I mean? You want to seem like, yeah, you saw it. You 2 steps ahead of it. And you've already defeated it, right? So Iyanla gives her assignment in another room, and then we get Veronica. Veronica, like I said, is 34. She's been married 5 years. She's got 3 boys by this man who had been married previously 4 times prior. Previously. He's got 4 ex-wives. Now she's going to be ex-wife number 5. Okay, and not only is she angry, you can tell she's slightly angry and slightly indignant, but she is choosing to be a type of victim in this. Now, Cherise came in with this victim mode too, but it was more like she kind of always, to me, comes across like situations are beneath her. Instances are beneath her. And I think that's why Iyanla was hitting her so hard with the fact that he moved in with a woman and moved that woman in on her and, just kept bringing it up and throwing it out there. And it was like a dagger, you could tell. Well, with Veronica is, yes, she shut down. Yes, she does have a measure of anxiety, but she wants Iyanla to be aghast. She wants Iyanla to be like, what? Are you serious? Are you kidding me? He did these things. He's horrible. She wants Iyanla to take her side wholeheartedly. Okay? And tell her, this man did you this way and this is unacceptable. Come to find out that her babies are 2, 4, and 5. So she had baby after baby after baby, right? He already had, I think he's got other children. But the woman that he messing around with, she publicly humiliated Veronica by going on IG, creating a page, adding everybody he know, they know mutually, they older children, all of that. Adding them. So everybody could see that what a fool he made of her. All right. So is she telling Iyanla this? And Iyanla is like, okay. All right. I mean, and you can tell it's a moment where she is just like, did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? She added my children. Okay. Well, okay. She added your children. How old are the older kids? Okay, she added the older kids. Doesn't make it necessarily better, but again, you want to regurgitate out how horrible this man is. So she asks her about how she feels, and she says, well, it seems like you're kind of removed from the situation. You don't seem as shocked about the situation as a person typically is, which I thought was odd because in 6 kids and 5 baby daddies, Iyanla really didn't seem like she was shocked about anything that was being said. But I digress. Anyway, she's talking about this lady being shocked and not having emotions, but I didn't think she really acknowledged that in the lady from 2 episodes ago. But anyway, that's a different story. So, yeah. So, she says, well, don't you think your kids can feel it? And she was like, oh, no, 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 I keep my kids out there. She was like, no, they lived in your body. And I didn't really think about this. They heard your heartbeat. They know you better than you know yourself. They lived in your body for 9 months. You think they can't feel when you tense up, when you're fearful, when you're feeling anxious? They can. And so it's a moment. Now, she's not really fully prepared for this conversation to be mostly about her. I think she came in feeling like she was going to tell about how bad and awful he was. And so when Iyanla asks her, why did she get with the husband, she talks about him being passionate and intelligent and compassionate. And Iyanla said compassionate. She was like, oh, yes, he was very compassionate. She's like, compassionate? Oh, yes, he's a very compassionate man. You know what I'm saying? Like, the two don't mix. The two, what you're saying is the two don't mix. Like, he cheated on her almost daily, like weekly. Like, he's a what do you call it? Serial cheater. You know, the man's a hoe. So, she said, well, why don't you let him raise the kids? I don't know why she brought this up twice. Why don't you let him raise the kids? And she was like, that's ridiculous. We're going to find out in this episode, the word ridiculous is her favorite word. That is ridiculous. So y'all was like, what's ridiculous about it? He's so compassionate. Maybe having the kids, raising the kids would make him a better man. And I think she just wasn't acknowledging all of the anxiety that it causes her to hear that after everything, he would also get the children. I'm sure that's how she felt. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that later on. But she tells Iyanla, I would die first. Iyanla said, you would die first. She said, yeah, I would die first. So she takes her to a room, puts her in the room, and she's going to work on the same sort of project. And she goes and talks to Cherise about who she is. And she's like a wife and a mother and all of these things. And she says, what about being a black woman? And she says, well, tell me what you know about being a black woman. And so Cherise, full mask, is talking about, well, historically, this is the other thing that people do. One, they come with their own story, their own agenda, and they're pretty sure that their story is going to sway people to be on their side or to agree with them or to not hold them accountable. The other thing that they do is a lot of people want to present themselves as being in the know. Like, I'm not confused about this at all. So when she goes into this thing about historically, and Iyanla was like, no. Your great grandmama laid in the bottom of a ship. And she just goes through all of this, all of the things that make you strong as a black woman. How legacy and genetically, as a black woman coming from black women, you have been endowed with a measure of strength and power and the fortitude to stand on your own, to survive anything, including divorce. And it's a moment. Iyanla leaves her to think, and she goes in and talks to the young lady, and they have conversations about how she feels and what she came into the relationship with. They both at certain points kind of get a little bit angry. You can always just kind of tell when people are like, how dare you? Excuse me, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you can just tell when people get indignant. So she brings them together, and it's the moment where I think Cherise starts to soften up a little bit. Is when she represents the older woman that is getting divorced for this younger woman who is going through divorce. And Cherise has a moment of epiphany where she closes her eyes and says to this woman, I sold my soul. I sold my soul for materialism, which is why you married a man who was everything you did not want to marry, which is why you have stayed in it, because you have built a lifestyle. Okay. She says, I sold my soul for money, materialism, that type of thing, to stay in this marriage. And part of it is you don't want this fairy tale to be over. The other part of it is you want to win from the other woman. This is what I'm thinking. And there's a whole nother part of you that feels like this is your husband to the day you die, or he die. And it's also a moment for Veronica because Veronica father cheated on her mother. So much so that the mother relied on Veronica for conversation, for comfort, for advice, all of that. And it was exhausting for Veronica. It got to the point where she didn't want to be around her anymore. And she realized she ran from that situation to where her father was controlling and unfaithful and not manipulative, but controlling of everything and everyone, which I guess could be the same thing as manipulation. And she ran right smack dab into the arms of a man who is the exact same way. Running from it, she ran into it. Everybody's eyes are open at this point. We can see where Iyanla goes on with another exercise where she has them put their lives in order in terms of what it is they wanted to have in their life and who they wanted to be, and realizing it has nothing to do with their marriage. It has nothing to do with their divorce. This is who you put all of these things aside to be with these men. Okay. When she goes to another exercise where she comes in and she's late and she's all disheveled. This is Iyanla and she's all got her head in a bonnet and curlers on, and Cherise is like she's used to the camera, so she realizes she's got to keep it together. She's got to be poised. In the back of her mind, she is like, what the freak? Okay, you can kind of see it a little bit on Veronica's face too, but you can also see Veronica kind of taking her cues from Cherise. All right, so come to find out, she's dressed in her pajamas and bunny slippers and all of that and excuses and all of that, because that is what stuck looks like. And both of these ladies are stuck. They are stuck blaming. They are stuck being victims. They are stuck trying to be competitive and be strong and not be embarrassed and seem like they have it all together. They're stuck there. Okay. And it's a really, really good moment when they go back to their chairs from this place where they both close their eyes and they both have this conversation and these epiphanies. They go back to where they're going to sit down. They're about to wrap the show up. And you can see another moment of anger, another moment of contention when Iyanla brings up giving the kids, what if the kids end up with their father, because that was her greatest fear. Her greatest fear was losing custody percentage to her husband, and Cherise's greatest fear was not being able to move from that place, or being lonely. I think one of them. Anyway, Iyanla pushed her on it, and made her do the openness. And you could tell she couldn't, it was a lot. She couldn't fathom it. She was trying to weigh things out within herself. Like, what? No, these my kids. So I think she was fighting a little bit of her mama bear instinct. I think she honestly does not feel like it would be best for her kids to be with the father. Iyanla feels like the kids will make him a better person. Yeah, I mean, I guess the kids would make him a better person if he actually raised the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, not leave them with people and stuff like that. And just started asking her how she felt, what it really looked like, if they could be respectful to each other for the children and raise the children and this. And he just not matter. Like, you're not going to put all of this energy into this dude. You cannot blame him for what your daddy did. Yeah, he ain't shit. But at the same time, it don't have to stop you. It don't have to keep you from moving forward in your life. Same thing with Cherise. If you're afraid of loneliness, what's going to happen? You're going to be alone. And then what? I'll just be alone. Okay, and then what? Nothing. You just be lonely. You deal with loneliness and you move forward in your life like everybody else. Exactly. Anyway, she made them accountability partners. And it was a good exercise, I guess. Kind of makes you think about all of these things that you bring to a conversation where you want people to be shocked and aghast at how you were treated and what this person did. Never once really thinking about your role in that. Not necessarily that you provoked a person to do this to you, but maybe you sacrificed some things. Or maybe you allowed some things. Maybe you decided you would stay in some things because it was better for you financially or logistically or whatever. And you have to take ownership and accountability for that. I did notice at the end that they give you like a little recap of how everybody is doing. And Veronica was saying that she has done a lot of the assignments and she really feels like Iyanla helped her out a lot. Where Cherise is saying she followed nothing of what Iyanla was saying and she followed her own path. And if you watch Real Housewives of Potomac, you will know this is how Cherise is. She is the woman that claws and fights to the very end to get her absolute positive way. Okay? I wouldn't be surprised if she cast Veronica down and out. I wouldn't be surprised if her and Veronica not even friends anymore. Like, they don't even talk. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think of this episode. Y'all notice how people come in one way, they have a moment of anger, and then it seems like they have a moment of clarity. Listen, let me just say this too. Sometimes Iyanla can come across a little matter of fact. A little matter of fact. And I think that's one of the things that puts people in a defensive stance or puts people in a stance of anger. Y'all tell me what y'all think. What have y'all noticed? Let me know. Okay, you guys, I've got to go to bed because I've got a house in the park in the morning. Oh, it's Labor Day weekend. It's my birthday weekend, and I am... Okay, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, honeybees. Mwah, mwah, mwah.